Another episode of Rob Help My Marketing Sucks. This is episode 14, and today we're going to jump right into it. We're going to get into our no BS offer, our big ass thank you of the week. I got something very different that I've never done before. I'm going to do a book review today on this episode. Actually, Christy, can you get me my notes from the book review from the printer? And then we're going to introduce our special guest, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, Armando Sotero will be joining us in a few minutes. So let's kick off and let's jump into our no BS offer. Every episode, I start off with this very special offer because I know that if you're watching, you're an entrepreneur, you're a small business owner. I know the value that getting this newsletter can bring. This is when I first discovered marketing back in 2005 when I was trying to figure out how do I grow my business. I came across Dan Kennedy. I haven't looked back since. I've been a loyal subscriber of the newsletter going on 11 years now. And I got a way for you to get 2 free issues of the newsletter along with $633 in free money-making marketing tools. I'm going to tell you what you're going to get. You're going to get 2 free months of Dan Kennedy's newsletter. You're going to get the 13 must-have direct response marketing principles. You're going to get how to write $1 million ads and sales letters for offline and online. And if you've been watching the show long enough, you know I'm a big proponent of offline and online marketing. And you're going to get the 10 big breakthroughs in business life and product distribution strategies for small business owners. It's either on the printer or it's a Word document on my computer. You can print it out for me, please. There we go. And you can get that by clicking on the link that we're going to post in the comments below. And we're going to also post that link up in the actual post for this week's episode. So don't pass this offer up. Get your hands on it. 2 free months, $633 worth of free money-making marketing tools and bonuses to help you take your marketing and your business to the next level. Now we're going to jump into what's always my favorite segment of the show, which is the big ass thank you of the week. This week, the big ass thank you of the week is going to go out to Elizabeth Santin from Twice as Sweet Cakes and Cupcakes. And the reason Elizabeth is getting the big thank you of the week, it's more of a big thank you shout out because you kind of restored my faith in entrepreneurs, Elizabeth, by showing up to the Vision to Wealth event on last Monday. So the average show gets about 400 to 500 views. Some shows have gotten higher, but that's about the average 400 to 500 views. So it's 400 to 500 people every single week that I'm talking to, telling them what they can do to take their marketing, take their business to the next level. But I'm amazed at how few people actually take the steps, take the action required. I'm amazed how very few people, in comparison to how many people watch the show, have actually signed up for the newsletter. So the ones that have taken me up on the offer and went and signed up and are getting their 2 free months, good job. Congratulations for taking action. You're not going to grow your business. You're not going to take it to the next level if you don't take the action, if you don't take what's required. Same thing with Vision to Wealth. There's an opportunity to learn from America's small business expert right here in our local hometown, free of charge. I invited everybody who watches the show. I went on Facebook and sent private messages to certain friends of mine. I called people. I did my part to help you guys. And the only person that actually showed up to the event was Elizabeth. One person. So thank you, Elizabeth, for restoring faith in entrepreneurship for me. And as I said before, I know that you might find it difficult to grasp some of the strategies that he shared and how you apply that to your business. That's normal. Most entrepreneurs, we go through that. We tend to think, oh, that won't work for my business, or oh, my business is different. That's BS. Marketing is marketing. Works for any business. Sometimes we got to get a little more creative in how we apply those marketing strategies. But Elizabeth, you showed up. You got it started. Thank you, and I'm here to help you. Any question you have, any idea you need, anything you want to bounce off of me, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to help you in any way I can as my way of saying thank you for taking action, taking steps. I got a lot of people that want me to help them, but they don't want to help themselves, and those people I refuse to invest my time and my effort if they're not willing to invest in themselves. Now, I'm going to jump into something that I've never done before on the show, which is a book review. I got my little notes here. And so this is the book that I'm reviewing. It's David Kurz from Kurz Real Estate. There's David. There's his brokerage firm in the Grove. And here's his book, The Blueprint: Strategies to Building a Successful Real Estate Business. Now, I'm not in real estate, but like I just said, marketing is marketing. So the strategies that I learned from reading this book can be applied to my business, can be applied to anybody's business. So if you're watching the show going, This doesn't matter to me. I'm not in real estate. What do I care about this book? What do I care about his book review? That is wrong. That's a closed-minded attitude to have. You got to open your mind. We got to look for ideas in different industries, different markets that we can swipe and deploy in our own industry, right? So let me get into a quick review on David's book here. One of the things that David discusses right off in the beginning of the book is what I love the most, which is success in anything is hard, and real estate is no different. A lot of people jump into real estate thinking this is going to be easy. And real estate is like any other business. And like I always like to say, anything worth having is worth hustling for, right? And that's what David is referring to here. You got to put the time, you got to put the effort. One of the things that he stresses that's the most important for real estate agents, this is the most important for any business, is really lead flow. You got to get those leads flowing in. And he discusses in his book where you can start that lead flow going, which is your circle of influence. The other thing that was cool, the way he put it, is your cell phone. People say, I don't know who to contact. He says, give me your cell phone. You got 300 people in there. That's your lead flow. Start with those 300 people. Start with your circle of influence. Start with your people in your cell phone. Start with your people on social media. This reminds me of exactly what I put together. I put together a marketing system for real estate agents called Next 100 Listings. And the core of Next 100 Listings is your circle of influence. That's what kicks off that program for real estate agents once they want to get started with that. We kick it off with their circle of influence. We move them into social media, and then we move them into something this particular marketing program that I developed for agents does is it does something that no other real estate program does, which is it creates a shock and awe package for the agent. Right? So these are the things very similar to what David is talking about in his book. The other thing he talks about in the book is confidence. Right? The mindset of confidence. And my guest today, Armando, is a motivational speaker. When he comes on, he's going to talk to us a little bit about that confidence, that mindset. But David says, you gotta have confidence. And the way you build that confidence is you gotta practice, you gotta prepare, you gotta learn, you gotta know your shit. Once you know what you're talking about, once you know your market, once you know your products and services, that confidence comes across. And that confidence closes deals, that confidence closes listings. Okay? He's got a great little tagline in the book. Reading the book, I don't remember right now if it was David or his co-author with the book, Rudy, who says, be everywhere all the time. Right? When you think about business, there's an old saying that says it's all about location, 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 right? I'm here to tell you today, it's all about marketing, marketing, marketing. You got to be everywhere and you got to market yourself. The other thing he talks about in the book is the use of social media, which is interesting because I'm doing a book review for David and I've never met David. We're friends on social media. We tag each other. We help market each other. We share each other's posts. But David and I have never really met face-to-face. I'm looking to change that this coming Saturday when I'll get an opportunity to meet David. So let me talk to you a little bit about, before I go, I do like Donald Trump. If I'm not following the script, I go on tangent. So let me stick to my notes here because David ends the book with talking about building an alliance of partners, mortgage brokers, title companies, home inspectors, real estate attorneys. The great thing about being an agent with Kurz Real Estate is David's already built these alliances for you. He puts you right into that. The other amazing thing about Kurz and what caught my attention and what led me on to following David is as a marketing junkie, I came across them on Facebook and they're doing some amazing, amazing things with their branding and with their marketing. And I'm going to show some of that to you. But before I finish the book review, I'm going to show you about the branding they're doing, the marketing they're doing. And listen, I'm not a real estate agent, but if I were to become a real estate agent tomorrow, I would join Kurz Realty. And you can reach out to him. It's join the movement at kurzre.com. If you're an agent and you're watching, and I know I got a lot of friends on Facebook that are agents, if you're watching, reach out to them, send an email to join the movement at kurzre.com. That's what I would do if I jumped into real estate today. Let me show you a little bit about what these guys are doing that makes their branding so amazing that it caught my attention. Everything is branded to the T. See, his agents get a branding profile. So everything looks hot, everything looks consistent. His listings all have a consistent look and feel. The intellectual property, the book, the radio show that they have every Thursday at 5, the Kurz Real Estate magazine, all of this intellectual capital is branded, is used in their marketing. It's tools that his agents can use to secure the listings. And then he's got just some seasonal marketing that he's done on social media for Halloween, Columbus Day, Yom Kippur. But See, everything has a branded look, feel, everything is consistent. Now, next week's guest is going to be Alex Miranda from the Creative Complex, who is a branding expert. So it's going to be a good segue, and maybe we can use him as an example, Alex, of some of the great things that he's doing with his branding. So I'm going to leave you guys with one last bit. David Kurz Real Estate is hosting a mastermind meeting this coming Saturday, December 10th. I believe you can go on Eventbrite and get yourself a ticket. I don't know what the link is. You can go on Eventbrite and just put Mastermind or Kurz Real Estate. That's going to be this upcoming Saturday at 10 a.m. It's an open mastermind about goal setting and planning. You're welcome, David. Thank you, Bill Wash. I always try to deliver that content. Always try to give that value to everybody watching. So that's it. You can get the book on Amazon. It's called The Blueprint. Well worth it, whether you're in real estate or not. Even if you're not in real estate, you can learn a couple of things from this book. So let's wrap that up and let's move on to my special guest for today, which is Armando Sotero, transforming, empowering, and changing. Armando's an entrepreneur and a motivational speaker, and I'm going to bring him on the show. Today, we're going to talk about goal setting. We're going to talk about entrepreneur mindset, especially going into 2017. Everybody wants to take their business to the next level. Everybody's New Year's resolution is next year is my year. And next year, I'm going to hit that million or that 3 million or that 5 million. But we don't have the right mindset. That's all going to fizzle out. And by January 31st, the resolutions are no longer around. So let's get Armando on the set. Let's welcome our expert guest. Woo! And
thank you.
And I'm hoping that Armando can motivate us because he's got a gift for motivating. See, my version of motivating is, cut the bullshit, just get it done. That's my version of motivation. Armando has a very different way of motivating, and he's great with words. He's great with kind of like analogies, or you have a way of motivating where you can kind of see the message and understand and go, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right?
Cutting through the red tape.
Cutting through the red tape. There you go.
Well, I do want to start, first of all, by saying that this morning I woke up with 100 things on my bucket list. Well, now being on your show, I'm down to 99. So
that's awesome.
I've finally reached the Robert Vino show here and Vico show. And so thank you very much for having me on your show.
Well, thank you for coming out.
I think the mindset, first of all, a quick shout out to Elizabeth for taking that step at the last mastermind meeting. It is people like her who decide, I'm going to do something different, or I'm going to step out in faith. And I think we have so many people today that we can offer them a free car, we can offer them money, we can offer them, incentives, and that little voice of fear begins to dwell in why should I? And yet we talk to people all the time. I coach people, I speak at conferences all over the globe, and people are always saying, I want to change my life. And we give tools, we give strategies, and less than 2% actually act on creating change. So I think what you're talking about is an excellent point. I think that we need to get more people doing and not talking, because
there's a whole lot of talk out there, by the way.
It's a whole lot
of talk out there.
You've been to 100 conferences, as I have, and it's great at a conference that we say we want change, we're going to do it, we're all powered up, we're all fired up, and the moment we leave the conference and we get in our car, two things happens. Either number one, all the why me attitude begins to kick in, or 2 days later, it's, I forgot about it. And no one ever takes action.
What I get a lot on the marketing side is, that won't work for me. I'm different. That's not going to work for me, right? That's the self-limiting beliefs that they don't open up their minds to say, hey, let's explore the possibilities, right? No, that won't work for me. Oh, my business is different. That's not going to work for me, right?
Right. Everyone becomes the expert from home with no formal training, with no coaching, with no mentoring. And so I want to spend a couple minutes on talking about value. And I think I have a good analogy that might bring it home for a lot of the viewers watching right now on Facebook. And so we had about value. And listen to this analogy. I'm going to hire you today for $200. Okay, so you're going to come work for me for $200. I'm going to pay you $200 cash, and you're going to come work for me from 9 to 5. So in essence, what you have said, Robert, is that you are going to give up your time. You are going to give up 9 to 5. And so you value that $200 is important enough for you to give up basically your day to come work for me. So that's the value that you're putting on wasting your day or spending the day with somebody. Now, tomorrow you see the phone that you want at Best Buy, and that phone costs $200. And you, without thinking about it, you take out that same $200 and you buy that phone.
Okay.
What you have done is that you have told yourself that that phone carries the exact same value that you would have done the day previously working for me 9 to 5. So what you gave up on an entire day, basically 8 hours of working for me, in a split second, you gave up for a piece of property, for a phone. And so yet we have events that we offer people all the time, free events. And we may get 100 people to say, I'm going. And what are usually the numbers?
It's like not even 20 of them will show up.
Not even 20 will show up. But yet we'll put the same value as if you were to go to a 9 to 5 workshop on something that might change your financial status, your relationship status, to empower you to create change in your life in whatever area that might be. We're willing to basically invest that same amount of money on a physical object versus an opportunity to learn and grow and change an area in our lives that we know that if we tweaked, if we changed, if we just took the same investment strategies as we did for that phone in the example, that life would be so much different tomorrow or moving forward.
Absolutely. I hadn't thought of it that way, but it's a similar analogy to what I talk about. You know, being in the marketing world, I buy a lot of training programs, a lot of digital training programs, memberships, seminars, conferences, a lot of this stuff. And there's a big percentage of the people that will invest $300, $400, $500 on a program and then get it home and do absolutely nothing with it. It's what I call the treadmill effect. Absolutely. It's like the guy who buys that treadmill online. He's going to get it every day. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. And 2 weeks later, he's got clothes hanging on the treadmill, right? So that's very similar to what happens with marketing, with training. You made the right decision in investing in yourself, but now we completely dropped the ball. Why do we do that?
Absolutely. You know, I think it's crazy that with as many millions of people that we have, how many people need almost daily motivation to get where they're going? And here's where I think that link comes in. You know, Gallup is a very respectable poll. Well, Gallup tells us that 80% of people are unhappy at the job they go to every day.
Okay.
So 80% of people who are driving next to you on the expressway, on the highway, on I-75 are unhappy going to and from work. And so we're trying to challenge people to say, we all have to pay the bills and put food on our table and a shelter, and that's fine. But at what point do we want to step out in faith? Or do we want to step out and say, you know what, I need to go to some seminars, I need to get some coaching, and what if I can learn one or two things that can free up more time,
right,
that can increase my finances, that will allow me to take that dream vacation or go out with the kids or do whatever it is, but people are not willing to step out. People are so integrated into that model that many of us grew up in. We go to school, we graduate high school, we hope to go to college, and then what? And so the young kids today, I think, have such a great advantage. So for those kids that are out there, 20s and the 30s, you have such a great advantage because you have such a background of technology that many of us didn't have growing up because those technology wasn't available to us, that you can pretty much sit at home, go on a computer, learn about e-commerce, learn about marketing, and you can do all this stuff from home, and you can start generating dollars right from home.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
You have to invest the time in people who are doing it because I'm a big believer that success leaves clues. And so, my mom told me, before she passed away, my whole childhood, listen, Armandito, if you hang out with 9 losers, you're going to become number 10.
Absolutely.
You're going to be the 10.
Dime con quién ando y te diré quién eres, no?
Absolutely.
That was the other.
So
I heard that one a lot.
Why not follow successful people who are doing what your passion is? And that's one of the things that we talk about in our seminars is finding that purpose, finding that passion. Because truly, the cliche is when you find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I think that now you've been doing that for a while, your wife's been doing it for a while, and now I've transitioned from public sector law enforcement after 27 years to become an entrepreneur, and I see the other side. And so if people can make that jump earlier, people don't have to wait later in life to do it. It's about being excited about what you do every day. And I love waking up and doing what I do, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're helping people. What I'm doing is I'm helping people. And there is no greater satisfaction than seeing a life changed or a family changed because of something you said or you did, even if it costs no money, because it isn't about the money, it's about the life-changing experience.
Absolutely. I mean, the helping people, that's the fun part of life. That's the reward, man. It's what do they say? It's better to give than receive.
Absolutely.
Right? Listen, I've been on my own as an entrepreneur since the age of 19. I've never really had a job, mostly because nobody would really hire me. So I kind of had to make it on my own out there, right? And I've been in this business, Capture Glory, promotional products, for 17 years now. What I really, really love is doing this show. Why? Because I get the comments, I get the private messages from people saying thank you, or they'll ask me a question, I'll answer the question, or they'll reach out to me and say, hey, send me a copy of your book. I love knowing that what I'm doing, that I'm having so much fun, is helping so many people out there that are just tuning in and watching.
Absolutely, because you're adding so much value, and people can sit at home and we can give all these shows all day long, but at the end of the day is we still need people to take action. Whether that's send you an email, whether that's write on a Facebook post, whether that's, hey, when's your next seminar? When's your next free seminar? How can you give me some advice? And it's about connecting with people. It truly is about building relationships, and you've been doing that for a long time, and I think we're both in the same business, that we're trying to build relationships with people, because if we can see a family change, if we can allow for happier times ahead, listen, at the end of the day, everybody has to find their own inner happiness. And it doesn't matter what your bank account says, that starts with home. And so I think we're in the same route in trying to change the way people look as far as themselves, and how can we create that change?
I'm still shocked at 80% of people. So now when I'm driving in traffic and I look around me,
why they're so angry.
Right.
Now I know why. It's not that they're so angry about the traffic, it's just their life, their job sucks and they hate it, right? But now I want to look at those people and I don't feel sorry for them, because it's all in our control. Now I get that when you depend on that paycheck, I get that it's not as easy as saying, you know what, I'm going to quit tomorrow and start my own business. I get it.
Absolutely.
But there's no need to live a life of misery, because you can take action, right? Nothing frustrates me more. And if you follow Gary Vee, he's a big guy to talk about cut the fucking bullshit. Enough with the excuses. You need time? Stop watching every single basketball game. Stop going to happy hour. Stop sitting on the couch drinking beer or drinking wine every night, and make something happen. Make a change for your life. Start a side business. Create an additional income stream. Or even use training to advance in your career. Maybe you're stuck and that's why you're miserable, and you're wanting to get that promotion and you're not getting it. But what are you doing to change your circumstances, right? That's the part that frustrates me. That's the part that kind of gets under my skin, and I can't be motivational. I gotta just and let's make things happen, man. That's what it's gotta do. I talked about in one of the episodes. A friend of mine called me one day. He says, hey man, I'm like in a slump at work, and I'm trying to figure out, and I look at you and you're constantly doing different campaigns, different marketing, different projects, getting involved in different things. How do you do it? I said, you know how I do it? I don't get a paycheck every week. I have to make it happen every single week. You got to get out there and make it happen, right? So the people who are getting that paycheck every week, they kind of fall into this comfort zone, and then they just relinquish their life to say, oh, yeah, my life sucks. I'm miserable at my job. Change it.
And we know that changing jobs isn't always the answer. And I've taught a course called 9 to 5 with Passion, because, and this is a good headline for all the employers, it's not always the employer's fault. A lot of the times it's the employee, it's not the employer, because the employee is allowing their inner unhappiness. They're not finding that hobby, they're not finding that side business, they're not finding their faith, whatever it is, they're not finding that peace, so they're carrying that baggage to the employer, and that's not fair to the employer either. So you are a 9 to 5, hey great, we need 9 to 5ers. We need all those professions out there because it makes the world go around, but how do you find that happiness at that 9 to 5? It all starts with that self-awareness piece. Is what am I strong at? What are my weaknesses? And how can I grow? And I think that would be a great goal in 2017, that people can say, I need to become more self-aware about who I am. Stop the finger pointing, stop the judging, stop looking around, and when you see the guy driving the nice car, that we come up with all these negative terms. Maybe they're just living out their passion. Maybe they're just finding what truly inspires them, and they're doing it. Did we ever think about that?
That's it.
And actually doing it. Why is that so bad? So we find happy people and we start blasting them because why they're so happy, and we go back in our miserable lives in some cases, and all we do is complain about all the happy people. But maybe that happy person was once you, and the reason why they became happy is because they said, today I'm changing, it's going to be a slow walk, I'm going to surround myself with those positive people to make the change, and then I'm going to get and create a goal for myself. And we know that successful people create goals. So you have to create personal goals and business goals, and you'll reach those goals, but it all takes a plan. And too many people are walking around with no plan.
All right, so now you're talking about goals, right? We're now getting in that time of the year where everybody starts planning their New Year's resolutions. Everybody has all the goals that they didn't accomplish last year and the year before and the year before. That's their new goal for this year, right? So what is the trick on following through with your goals? And what's your opinion of, there are people that'll tell you when you do goal setting, set yourself I forget the meaning of the acronym, but it's set yourself SMART goals, which the SMART is an acronym for measurable, but they tell you to set small goals because you can achieve it and you give yourself that sense of satisfaction and then go to the next goal, right? Then there's the other mindset that says, if you're going to think big. If you're going to dream big, right? That's how I look at goals. Right? So when I go into goals, I want to think big, right? So there's a saying that says, shoot for the stars, even if you miss, you land on the moon, right? So I like to set big goals, right? Look at a guy like David, who we just reviewed the book. You know what his goal is for his company? To have $1 billion in listing in their first year. It's a big goal. A lot of people may look at that and think, this guy's that's never going to happen, right? In his mind, that's all that matters. In his mind, he's going to make $1 billion in listings this year. And he believes it. He won't hire an agent that doesn't believe it. If an agent questions, how are we going to do that? You're not hired there, right? So is it better to think big or think small, attainable chunks?
Well, I think both. I think one of the things that we talk about when we empower people are to set 3 stages of goals. I like to look at them as a 1-year goal, a 5-year goal, and a 10-year goal. And I'll tell you why. Because I think that, we see it all over, Facebook and all over social media, earn 7 figures by attaining this one webinar. We know realistically that's not going to happen. And any true entrepreneur will tell you that you have to work your way to the top. So we may want to make 7 figures, but we have to make our first dollar first. So getting a path that allows us to say, what do I realistically want to accomplish in this first year? Whether it's, hey, I'm going to set up an e-commerce store. Guess what? You've made your goal. I want to sell your first dollar online. You've made your goal. You know what? I want to strengthen my faith. I got to get into church to do that. That's your goal. I want to strengthen my family. Then I got to spend time. Whatever those goals are, they have to be small in nature, but at the same time, we have to have a long-term vision, because I think a long-term vision will drive us outside of attaining those smaller goals. But I think the big thing and the biggest mistake that people make is that they sometimes only look at the long-term goal, and along the road to that goal, they stumble, they fall. And for many people, they call it quit. They say, I'm done. So right. I went to make $1. I haven't sold something in 30 days. This isn't for me. Let me go on. Well, guess what? You're going to have to fail your way to success. You have to fail your way to success. There are plenty of stories and cliches that absolutely. You can look at. But I mean, I love to use, President Lincoln, who failed 14 times before he became president. He could have said, hey, I'm done. He could have said, I'm done. Another iconic figure. I mean, hey, let's take a look at Harriet Tubman. Came out of the railroad, right? And was free. Harriet Tubman could have said, hey, I'm out of here. I'm done. What did she do? I'm going back to free some more slaves. So you could have quit, and she didn't. And there's tons and tons of examples, both global
the light bulb.
And local.
How many times did he said, no, I've discovered 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb, right?
To not make it. So I think the key is you're going to get knocked down. Are you motivated enough to get back up? And if you surround yourself with people who are mission-driven like you, it is much easier to succeed. It's hard to be the lone wolf out there with no support. And I think that's where that self-awareness piece is so important. When I started this entrepreneur venture, I knew there were my strengths with public speaking and doing other things. But hey, there's technical things that I said, I'm not good at this. I need to find the experts who are doing it, and I need to farm it out to them so I can surround myself with the right circle to move forward. So I think people have to realize you need both short and long-term goals. You're going to stumble along the way. I can't tell you how important that support group is. You have to have positive people involved in the same mission as you, and you're going to get there. But do not let 1, 2, or 3 failures tell you, I cannot achieve this. Okay, I cannot achieve this. And I think that's where those mastermind and coaching seminars are so important, because I think that's where people can come in with the experts, with other people who are doing the same things that they're doing, and say, how can we all learn from each other?
Absolutely. So it's not, how the saying is, it's not how hard you fall, it's how quickly you get back up?
Absolutely.
So it should really be how many times you get back up.
Right, because you're going to get knocked down.
You're going to get knocked down more than once.
A lot more than once.
I've gotten knocked down plenty of times in 17 years. In just this business alone. It hasn't stopped me. Every one of those times I got knocked down was a lesson learned and a new opportunity created, because I learned how to fix the problem that knocked me down, and that created a new opportunity for me.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, for me personally, if somebody can look back at the 46 years of my life, I can tell you that I have failed more times than I have succeeded. Guaranteed. I have failed more times than I have succeeded. But with every failure, I have learned from my mistakes. And sometimes I made the same mistake 2 or 3 times. But that made me a better person, which that trickled down to becoming a better father, a better husband, a better entrepreneur, a better public servant. Whatever area I was, you have to fail your way to success. Very few people less than 1% get it the very first time around. And when they do, they still have to work at it very hard.
Success is messy.
Success is messy.
And a lot of times when you read the success stories, it was the success story when they were living in their car, when they had lost everything, or that athlete that was like sleeping in his car outside the gym so he can be at practice every morning. It's that desperation that sometimes pushes you to say, I gotta make it, man. I gotta make it.
I have to get there. And
you just can't sit back.
And how many people hear of those stories, and what happens is the inner voice says, oh, that's them, or they had an advantage, or they start making excuses why that can't be them. And so it's much easier to criticize others than it is to say, hey, let me put a mirror in front of my face, let me look inside of it, oh, that's me, what do I need to change? Stop trying to change people around you. When people change themselves first, then they have opportunity for other things around them to change. And I think that's so important.
You got to have that self-realization.
You got to have that self-awareness.
And you also, as entrepreneurs, we have to define failure differently than what we were programmed to believe failure is, right? If we were doing this in front of a live audience, and I asked people in the room, how many people own a successful business? And they start to raise their hands. And then I'll say, how many people have just started their business? And they'll raise their hand. And then when I talk to the people who are just starting their business, they'll tell me, yeah, but my business isn't doing good, or oh, I've only made $1,000, or I've only made $2,000. I congratulate those people.
Absolutely.
Because whether you made $1, $1,000, $10,000, or $100,000, or $1 million, to make that first dollar, to make that first $100, you had to take action. You had to take the steps. You did it. That's what most people don't do. So once you make your first dollar, don't knock yourself. Don't think, oh, I haven't made enough money. I've only made $1,000. That's something to celebrate, right? But it goes back to, I think a lot of it goes back to the internet marketers. The internet marketers, they want to make it seem that everybody can make all this money and I can do it working only 4 hours in my boxer shorts sitting at home. Right? So they create this illusion that everybody can make money so easily that then when people go and try it and they only make $100 or they make $1,000, they feel that they haven't accomplished anything. Right. They feel that I didn't make $1 million in 3 days in my boxer shorts in 4 hours, right? So they feel that they failed. You haven't failed. You did amazing. You've taken the first step, which is starting. You can't make $1 until you start, right?
Until you start. And that's, that's business 101. Listen, you have to celebrate the small wins. And I think businesses who do that are become very successful. Whether it's Southwest Airlines, 3M, Philip Morris. There's a great book by Jim Collins called Good to Great. How do these companies transition from being a good company to a great company? Well, one of the principal benefits there is that you celebrate small wins. When an employee gets, a great customer satisfaction, that's a great step in the right direction. So I think we have to celebrate, small wins. And I want to take a minute because there's a lot of you watching who are saying, well, I just need to find the opportunity. I need to be given, some information on how I can make some change and how I can make an impact. So being that today is Monday, there is an opportunity tonight that I've invited Robert out to, and I want to invite you out to since we're here on a live show. Tonight at 7:30. At the Fairfield Inn and Suites at the corner of Pembroke Road and Southwest 145th Avenue. Pembroke Pines, Fairfield Inn and Suites, Southwest 145th Avenue and Pembroke Road. We are having a free event tonight. Again, keyword there is free. We are going to discuss and talk about an opportunity to generate a little extra cash flow for this holiday season and hopefully generate some momentum for you. We have a team dedicated. You're not going to make 7 figures by going to the seminar. What we are going to do is we're going to give you an opportunity to look at a business model, see if it works for you, and you know what? That's the way I started in entrepreneurship, making an extra $100 a week. Yes. It grew to $500 a month, and then it grew to $1,000. But I took that first step by going to a free event. So if you have the time, 7:30 p.m., we value your time. It's going to last 60 minutes. We'll get you out of there by 8:30, corner of Pembroke Road and Southwest 145 Avenue at the Fairfield Inn and Suites. Come out, listen to the information. It doesn't hurt. It's not going to cost you anything. And see if this is something that you can generate. And we're more than welcome to help you at no cost to you. So thank you again for having me on the show. And we'll have Christy put the address and the information on the comments below. Awesome. So they have it there. And we haven't really finalized all the details, but I'm going to go ahead and make an announcement. Absolutely. Right? So in January, we are going to be hosting the Top Entrepreneur Workshop. So if you watch this show and you're one of those 80% of people stuck in traffic, miserable, and you want to find something else to do with your life, or if you're an existing entrepreneur and you're just looking for a way to take your business to the next level, this workshop that we're going to be hosting in January
probably be towards the end of January, the Top Entrepreneurs Workshop. We'll get more information on that, but I'm happy to announce it. We're launching it. Armando's going to be talking about the mindset. I'll be talking about marketing, and it's a great way to kick off the first quarter of 2017. Plan those goals. If you have goals already in mind, go to David Kerr's mastermind happening this Saturday. It's all about goal planning and goal setting for the new year. And stay tuned for more information. We're going to set up a landing page, and we'll have more information there. Again, I just got excited, wanted to announce it. It hasn't been formalized. We don't even have all the information yet. But just wanted to kind of make that pre-launch announcement because I'm excited to get it going. I'm excited to have you come in and motivate them.
Absolutely.
And show them how to achieve those goals in 2017.
Awesome. Good partnership. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming out. And we're going to wrap up this episode. Next week's episode is a great segue because we spent a little bit of time talking about branding, showing what Kurz is doing. And next week's guest is Alex Miranda from the Creative Complex, who's an expert at branding as well. I'm going to reach out to Alex and see if he wants to come and speak at our event.
Absolutely.
Because Alex is the creator of a system called Launch in 2 Days, where he'll take an entrepreneur who wants to launch a business and he gets it launched for them in 2 days. Website design, business card design, logo design, all that done in 2 days. So if you're watching and you need some help on your branding, stay tuned for next week's episode. If you're watching and you're thinking of starting a business, watch next week's episode. Alex will talk to us about his Launch in 2 Days program, and we'll get him to come speak at the event. So we're going to wrap it up. Signing off. We'll see you next Monday for episode 15 of Rob Help My Marketing Sucks. Signing off.
Have a good day.